Hi, I'm Shalane, this is Dean, and we are
Grassroots Living.
And this is how we live our love. So what do you think? That was our new intro. We're so excited about that. And so special thanks to Garrett from RV Media Creators.
Yeah, in fact, if you haven't had a chance to check out that channel, please do, especially if you're new to the YouTube community like we are as YouTube creators. You're going to find a lot of great information there.
Yeah, he was super helpful. It was really fun to watch him make that intro on his last video that he posted. He shows you how he made that intro and just gives you some ideas on how to make yours. So, thank you, Garrett. We appreciate that. And we will link his information below for his channel and also the channel that he does with his wife and kids called Diary of a Family. Okay, so today, as you can tell by the title, we're not taking you anywhere. We're just going to have a chit chat right here in our living room / kitchen / everything, because that's how things work in an RV. I apologize, I'm still talking funny. I've got new hardware in my mouth and I'm still talking a little funny. So if you think I sound a little funny, that's why, because I sound a little funny.
Give us a comment below if you can even tell.
I can tell.
I think only she hears it. I don't hear it at all. So.
Well, I hear it. I'm saying things funny. Okay, so we're going to talk today about working for Amazon. As you know, we are work campers. We're full-time RVers, and we're work campers. We usually work 1 to 2 jobs per year. And we have worked for Amazon and for JCPenney in Reno, and a lot of people want to know about those jobs and want to know how they compare.
In fact, a lot of people don't even know that. I mean, I think everybody's heard of Amazon Camper Force. It's been around a decade or more. But JCPenney just started their own work camping program for their Reno, Nevada facility. And I believe maybe even Ohio as well. But it's really kind of taking off now in the Reno area, so that's where we were. Right,
so last year was their first year and they just had a handful, and this year they had around 100, so which is still small potatoes compared to Amazon, but that's pretty huge growth in 1 year, and word's going to spread really, really quick. So we have a list of things that we're going to talk about, and we will also try to put these topics in the description below with the time at which you will see them in the video, in case there's something you already know and so you want to fast forward, or you want to look at it again later after you've watched the video. You'll know where to go. So we'll put the time in the description below.
And it's important for you to know, we're just really talking about the differences between the two. This is not one to try to convince you to go one way or the other. We just want to, because I think we both feel the same way. The distribution center jobs are not really our gig. But it's not like we've ruled it out completely.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know that there's a lot of people that are like, oh, warehouse work, that's my favorite. You know, some people, but it is good, fast, hard money.
Yes.
So let's get in. Let's talk about this. So the first thing we're going to talk about is just getting the job, and I'll let you.
Okay. I want to say at the end of January is the best time if you're new to the Amazon thing. The end of January is the best time to start looking at their program. So you just go to a Google search, you put in Amazon Camper Force. I think it'll take you to a page that says amazondelivers.jobs, and they'll give you a little button to click to apply for the job itself. So you'll just follow that routine, and then it's a little bit of a process. They give you a letter saying, hey, you've tentatively been accepted. A few months later, they'll come back and say, hey, we need to have you take a drug test. And
you take a drug test with both Amazon and JCPenney.
Right.
It's actually pretty common in most jobs, work camper or not. So.
And no matter where you are in the United States, in Amazon, they have a facility that you can go to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then you do like a little online class. You're supposed to be online at a certain time, and they just kind of give you some details about what you'll be doing, and then you say, yep, I've watched this program and I accept this job. So it's a little bit of a process, but nothing too dramatic. Reno was super easy.
Yeah, JCPenney's, we just called Human Resources in Reno and said, hey, we're work campers. We'd like to have a job there. And they said, well, when are you going to be here? We told them. They said, okay, we've got a facility right there, in Reno. When you get here, let me know, and we'll get you the
We went in for the drug test
Yeah.
and did that and went. So neither
easy.
neither one of them are that involved. Amazon is slightly more involved as far as getting a job than JCPenney.
And I do know that JCPenney's and Amazon both will be found at the Quartzsite RV show, the middle to end of January. And I believe Amazon also has a presence down at the Tampa RV show as well. So.
Yeah, we don't know if JCPenney's is going to be there. That would kind of surprise me, but Amazon will be there, most likely. Okay, so now we're going to talk about why my camera's off. So now we're going to talk about RV parks, like where you can stay while you're working at either JCPenney or Amazon.
Yeah, it is slightly different in that at Amazon, they have specific parks that you have to stay at.
Mm-hmm.
You have just a few options with each one. They will only pay up to $550 a month. Anything more than that, you pay for. But it's just something that they do. With JCPenney, they let you pick whatever park you want to stay at. In fact, you can choose to boondock if you want. They're going to give you $100 per week per person working. So for us, we were getting $200 a week towards our housing. We chose a spot that was $675 a month, so we actually got to keep a little extra. If we chose something that was $1,000, then we'd have to come up with $200 of our own. Just something to think about. JCPenney does give you the option of going anywhere. We know somebody that stayed, that boondocked for a couple weeks just so they could keep all the money off of it. Your choice.
The locations, like we said before, as of 2019, it was only JCPenney in Reno, Nevada, but that, I believe, is expanding.
Yes, in fact, I talked to some people and they said they believe there were maybe 8 or 10 work campers from JCPenney that went to Ohio.
Oh.
So, and I think there was a place near Kansas City that tried to get work campers, but nobody wanted to go. So when we went to orientation,
that's where we're from. It's cold.
We went to orientation. It is in Reno too. When we went to orientation, they did say. What was it?
One's opening
Provo.
up in Provo, but they're only having a few. Hey, somebody's at our door. Nobody's ever at our door. Wait, let me take your mic off. Okay, go ahead. Visit her.
With Amazon, they've got multiple areas in Kentucky, a couple more areas in Tennessee. They added Phoenix, Arizona this year.
Phoenix is next to impossible to get a job in Phoenix.
Unless you were there the year before.
Yeah, and the people that were there the year before don't want to go anywhere. So that one's kind of tricky to get a position there, but there is, it's there.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, now we're going to talk about money. Talk about the pay and the difference in pay at each one.
So we do feel like it's probably a little better at JCPenney in terms of the housing end of it, because you can keep what you don't spend. They give you at least $800 a month, $100 a week per person.
And you get to find your own spot, which we so much preferred.
Right. But in terms of pay, Amazon pays $15 an hour and JCPenney pays $14 an hour. So something to think about. The other thing is Amazon does give a completion bonus. I believe it's 50 cents for every regular hour work and $1 for every overtime hour work. So JCPenney does not have a completion bonus. In effect, at least they didn't this year.
Yeah.
So again, something that you need to know.
Yeah, and a couple of people that we worked with this year that worked at both JCPenney and Amazon said they actually made more money at JCPenney because there were more overtime hours available to them. So that's the thought too. Now we're going to talk about when you start and when you end JCPenney versus Amazon.
Yeah. So for JCPenney, they, at least what we were told this year, is they wanted people there in the month of October. Some early, some that came later, but they wanted people there in the month of October, and they would work until December 20th. Okay, that's all we know. I don't think there was any other options out there. For Amazon, they have a lot of interesting things now that they didn't have 4 years ago when we were there. Like you can start in northern Kentucky, one of their plants there, I want to say July 7th, and it goes until November 4th.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they had some that started November 3rd and went to December 23rd, and then they had some that started December 1st and went through February 29th. So there's just lots of different possibilities on those. So
yeah,
again, something to think about depending on what kind of a time frame you're looking at.
Yeah, we had some friends that went there in July and did the July to November thing, and then they were home with their families for the holidays. Right. Versus most of us as work campers doing warehouse, we're not home. Not only are we not home for the holidays, but we are working on Thanksgiving at least. Yeah. So, yeah. So there are different times you can start and end. So look into that. If you think that you're just one of those people that you don't want to do warehouse because you don't want to work through the holiday season, but you would like to make the money, there are options. So check that out. Now we're going to actually talk about the job itself and some different things you can expect on the job and in the different warehouses, what that looks like. And okay.
So they have what are called pickers, who have to go walk the aisles and find things and put it in totes and get it to a conveyor belt.
And that's the same at both JCPenney and Amazon, is that there's pickers and stowers and that kind of thing. But how it works is very different. At Amazon, everybody has a scanner. The scanner tells them what to do and where to go. JCPenney, you're just assigned an area at the beginning of the day. When you are finished with the job that you have in that area, it is kind of tricky to find somebody to help you know what to do next. That was a little bit of a frustration for all of the work campers, is walking around for an hour and trying to find somebody to give you a job.
I'm done now. What do you want me to do next?
Yeah. The warehouse itself also looks very different. For example, Amazon, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, if not thousands, I don't know, of people. And just walking down the hallway, you're shoulder to shoulder with people. And in JCPenney, you can look around and it just almost looked like a ghost town. It was nice.
It was a huge facility in Reno, so...
It's a huge... All the Amazons are huge, too. They just employ so many people. Just trying to give you an idea of what it might look like a little bit. There are vending machines all over Amazon that actually give you gloves to work with. So if you need a pair of gloves when you're working, all you have to do is go to the vending machine and swipe your card, and it drops a pair of gloves for you. You don't pay for them. You just push the button and it gives you a pair of gloves. Or if you need like a little knife to open the boxes, you can go to the vending machine and get that. To where at JCPenney, you have to find somebody that might know, and if it's locked up in a cupboard, you have to find somebody that has the key, and it's a lot. And then also at Amazon, if you're getting a shoulder ache, you can just go to their dispensers. In Amazon that we worked at. Yeah,
things could have changed over 4 years, but...
There were dispensers all over where you could just go and get some acetaminophen or ibuprofen, again, for free. It's just a little pack that you can get anytime you want or need to. They also had a medical facility, and the one we worked at, where you could go in anytime if you had any kind of a medical issue at all. My back hurt so bad one day I couldn't hardly stand it, and I took him in with me, and we just went into one of the rooms, and they provide, I can't remember what they call it, deep blue. It's not icy hot, but it's something to that effect, and he put some on my back for me, so that was nice. And JCPenney does have a little bit of a medical facility as well, but we never went in there.
Can't tell you anything about it.
It's really hard to find a Band-Aid at JCPenney, and you cut yourself a lot on the cardboard, so it's kind of tricky. So that was different. All right, so what are we talking about?
We're talking about stress.
Oh, Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about the stress, just physically and emotionally. I don't know. I was stressed out at JCPenney because there was a clock that told me exactly when I had to have my products on the belt. And sometimes they give you too many tickets. You literally cannot fill the order. It's not humanly possible. So they always are very friendly and tell you to call and get somebody to help you. But that was sometimes a challenge to find somebody.
Plus, you're already behind, and so your last thought is, I'm going to leave the work that I have to do right now and go find somebody.
And that's going to put me even farther behind. Yeah. So that was very, very stressful. Most of the work campers did not do that job. They worked in what's called T class, or they worked in some other part of the facility. There weren't very many of us work campers that were actually filling orders by the time clock.
Yeah. There were 20 sessions in a day. Each session had 28 minutes, and they would give you a stack of tickets to go in. Like for me, to go pull shoes. So I had to go through, I want to say there were 15 different aisles, finding different shoes that matched the things that were on my ticket, get it in a cart, get it over to the belt, band it, put it on, and then just immediately turn and start working on my next session. 28
and
minutes.
I'm a perfectionist, so when I couldn't get things on the belt at the right time, it really, really upset me. Other people were like, you know, I'm working as hard as I can. They don't like it. That's, you know, because they were doing their best, and they weren't going to sweat it if they didn't get it in on time. I went into freak out mode when I didn't get mine in on time because, you know, I didn't want people to think that I was lazy or slow or that, but that's just me. And so if you don't like to work like under pressure, just tell them. Just tell them when you go to get that job, you need to be so 100% honest about what you can and cannot do, and what's good for you and what's not good for you. And if you don't work well under a lot of pressure, like that situation was, just say, hey, I work hard, I work well, put me somewhere where I can work hard, but don't put me somewhere where you're going to be timing me, because I can't handle that.
Yeah.
And now that I know that, I would tell them. If I went back to JCPenney, I would say, don't put me there where you're going to be timing my every move, because that freaked me out.
And they'd listen to us.
Yes.
Yeah.
JCPenney and Amazon were both very good about, for us, this is our experience, very good about listening to your concerns and making sure that you were comfortable in whatever job you had. We have asked some of our coworkers that have worked at both, and they have said the exact same thing, that that they were really pleased with Amazon and JCPenney as far as how they were treated as a work camper, as a worker. Mm-hmm. Okay, you may have heard a lot about the physical stress of the Amazon job, and so you're thinking, well, I'll go to JCPenney because it's not as much. It is as much. But again, a lot of the work campers did a job that we didn't do, and they said the job that they were doing that was not a timed type situation, even though they did walk 7 to 8 miles a day, it wasn't quite as much. I was walking 13 to 16 miles a day on mine, but most of them were walking closer to like maybe a 7 to 8 or 7 to 9 mile. So again, keep in mind and be honest with yourself if you have any kind of physical limitations. I do think you'd have better luck if you were honest up front with getting a position that would fit you best. Okay, now something that we wanted to mention that may or may not be of any, I don't know, what am I trying to say? Significance to you. But when you're working there, it is, because you're working so many hours and you're working so hard, and you want to be appreciated. You want to be celebrated, and you want to be appreciated because you're working your bahonkus off. And we felt like JCPenney did that. They had they had a Thanksgiving breakfast for us, and they said thank you sometimes, and you're doing a good job, right? Uh-huh. They were nice. Amazon kicked JCPenney's butt on this one, guys. Just saying. I'm just going to say it. At Amazon, they were always so appreciative. At the end of the day, excuse me, they would have a lot of people's names up on the board and how many things they had picked or stowed or counted in ICQA or this, that, or the other. And there were constant drawings for gift cards. If they saw you, any of the management saw you in the hallways, it was constantly, some of it was like cheesy, hey, good job, high five. But as cheesy as it was, somehow deep down you kind of appreciated it, and you knew that it did come from a sincere place.
Sure.
So we really did feel super appreciated at Amazon. The funny thing is I've heard work campers speak to the contrary. But as far as where we worked, when we worked, we were very pleased with how they were celebrating us. They always give the work campers t-shirts. Who doesn't want a free t-shirt? It's kind of a badge of honor too, and it's kind of a bonding thing too. When you put on your Amazon Work Camper Force t-shirt and you end up in some random campground somewhere and somebody else has the same t-shirt on, you're like, hey, Amazon! And you have something to talk about, and it's just kind of a fun thing that you always get your Camper Force t-shirt, and you get opportunities at gift cards. And their Thanksgiving dinner at Amazon was so good. Heck, I don't even want to go to my family's house anymore. I just want to go work for Amazon so I can have their Thanksgiving dinner. So good. So
now,
that's our opinion.
Yeah, to be fair,
that.
I don't want you to think that JCPenney was in any way, shape, or form rude about it. Amazon's been doing this for over a decade. They've kind of got the whole thing polished.
They got swag that they hand out.
Yeah.
They got the whole thing.
So I don't want you to think that in any way, shape, or form JCPenney is not supportive of their work campers. They are. They are very supportive of them. We had a wonderful team leader. They
were so kind.
Yeah. So
yes.
I don't want you to get the wrong idea.
Nope.
Amazon's been doing it better, been doing it longer, and I think that's probably what's made it better for us.
Yeah. JCPenney, if you're watching this, we appreciate you. And Amazon too. And if I were going to choose where to go today for next year, I wouldn't, and I wouldn't tell you, because I don't know. They
both have their positives and their negatives.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, you're gonna work hard, really hard at either one. The people that we asked some of our friends for some statements about what they preferred and why. I have got a frog in my throat. Their general consensus for them, the people that we talked to, they preferred JCPenney's. It is a little more laid back. It is a little more low-key. That was for them because they weren't doing the job that we and a couple of the other work campers did, where we were working by the clock, which was much more difficult. Their job was also difficult, but a little more laid back.
Right.
And they got to communicate with each other.
Right.
They were in an area where they were together and they got to have fun. They're like, oh, we love our job because we get to work together and we get to talk all day and visit with each other. And we did not have that opportunity, so that was not our experience. But they preferred JCPenney because it was more laid back and enjoyable. Right.
Because, that's good.
So the very last thing we're going to talk about are the people, and those are the people that are well, at Amazon they call them Blue Badge.
Yeah.
So these are the people that you work with that work at the facility year round. Okay, the people that are not work campers. My sister worked at the Coffeyville, Kansas facility the very first year that Amazon took on work campers. She was angry, and I mean, I'm just being honest, and so were pretty much all of her co-workers, because they felt like the work campers were coming in to take their jobs. They had work campers do have a little bit of a lower quota that they have to meet too because of their age. There's some, maybe they don't work quite as quickly as some of the younger people. Probably more
accurately,
but they do, their accuracy is so good, and that's what Amazon really appreciates. So I'm just going to say the word because she was just angry about the work campers coming in, and that was a feeling the work campers felt that. And the people that we have talked to that are work campers for other facilities also felt that. Every work camper we've talked to that has worked in any Amazon has felt the animosity from the workers that are year-round workers. Now, that being said, it
From
could
many
be,
of them, not all.
it could be that Amazon has been doing this so long now, and that the workers there have seen them there, and they know they just come and go, and they don't take anybody's jobs. They just come in and they leave. So at this point, that attitude might be gone. We can say that we didn't feel much of that at Amazon. We didn't feel much of it. But especially the people that started working at Amazon quite a few years ago, and over the years have felt it. But even the people I asked that had worked there a couple years ago were still like, the workers there. So sometimes you might run into workers there that just make you feel like, oh, you're taking our jobs. But just be nice to them. Let them know we're just here to hang. We're just here to chill, get a job and leave, get some money and leave. Yeah. The funny thing is that I felt like, and the people that we talked to felt like we didn't feel that from anybody at JCPenney's, which is so odd, and I don't know why. Yeah,
that was interesting. I mean, they really were very pleasant, always to be around. So
we worked with some great people at Amazon. But don't be surprised if you run into some blue badge people that are a little cold, and it's just because I don't know. There's a concern. I don't know exactly what it is. I've never been in their shoes. My sister has been, and that was her attitude, was they just felt like that it's unfair that they're coming in. And we essentially get paid more, because even though the wage is the same, we're getting our room and board. We get our rent and our utilities paid for.
Up to $550.
And so that's a little bit of a frustration to them, is that they feel like we come in for a short amount of time, we get paid more in that way than a lot of them, and so there's a little bit of a bristly feeling with some of them. But not all. We've had good luck. At JCPenney, we had none of that. So if you do feel that, just try to see where they're coming from and understand them, and just be kind, because you might feel that way too if you were in their shoes. But we wanted to mention the Workampers. That's the most fabulous part of working at Amazon or JCPenney, is that you do get to work with your fellow Workampers, and that's the best part, is just being down in the cafeteria during break time and chit-chatting and
finding out their stories, and almost always you can relate it to your own. So
yeah, and networking. That's a great place to find out, hey, where did you work? Was that a good position? What does it pay? How do I get the hookup there? We have a job this coming summer up in Alaska, and we were talking to one of our Workamper friends at JCPenney, and she's like, wait, I want to do that. How do you do that? And by the end of our time there, she also had a job up in Alaska, and we're going to be working, traveling up there together. So yeah, that's a really fun part about it, is just the Workampers, the people you meet from all over the country. We've made so many good friends, and that's been a real blessing.
Yes.
So we'll just wrap it up. Hopefully we answered some questions you have, the comparisons between the two, because JCPenney's pretty new, and I know you guys want to know. You have a lot of questions. We are going to be next month at RTR. We'll be presenting at RTR about Workamping.
Yeah, between Quartzsite and Parker.
Right. So we'll be talking about Workamping. I'm sure JCPenney and Amazon comparisons will come up. We'll do our presentation, and then there will also be a Q&A. So you can ask more questions of us in person if you're going to be in Quartzsite. And we'll be at 2 different sessions. We'll be doing a session solo, and then we'll be part of a group session as well. So you'll have time, if you come to Quartzsite, and we know a lot of you are, to ask questions of us and other people that have worked for both, and for a lot of other, we've done a lot of other jobs, so you'll have time to answer questions. We appreciate Amazon for having the Workamper, the camper force, and we really are so grateful too that JCPenney has got on board with that as well. It's a great opportunity for Workampers, for us and so many others that take that opportunity to rake in the dough just at the right time of year.
Exactly.
Okay. hopefully we'll see you in Quartzsite. If not, please drop any questions you have, or even if you are, please drop any questions that you have below, and we will be happy to answer those if we have the answer. And if you've worked at JCPenney or Amazon, please feel free to make comments below so that anybody that reads that, you know, the more information that we have, the better.
Even if you disagreed with something we said, please make a comment.
Yeah, tell us how it was for you. We can only speak to how it was for us.
Right.
So please feel free to share your comments, your thoughts below. And so, until next time, this is Grassroots Living, reminding you to get down to the grassroots of what makes you happy and live your love.
We're thinking of you, and we'll see you next time.
Peace out.